So AI is everywhere, right? New tools are dropping what feels like every single day. But what if you're not a programmer? What if you've got this killer idea for an app, but you don't know how to code? How do you actually go from that amazing concept to a real working thing? Well, that is the exact question we are going to tackle today. And look, this isn't just some theoretical question. This is a real post from a real person named ePerson on the Streamlit community forums. And it just perfectly nails the challenge that so many people are facing. They see the power of AI. They have a specific goal that they need a map. So you know what? Today, let's draw one.
Because here's the thing, it doesn't matter what you're building. Whether it's for healthcare or finance or just a cool hobby project, every single AI app follows a fundamental roadmap. So let's chart it out.
Okay, so for years, this has been the standard path. First, you've got to identify a really clear problem. Then, and this is the part people always underestimate, you have to prepare your data. It has to be good. From there, you pick your tools, design and train your model, plug it all in, and then you test, deploy, and keep improving it. It's a solid process, for sure, but man, it can be really time-consuming. But here's the exciting part. Today, that entire path has been shaken up. New tools have created two incredibly powerful shortcuts that make this whole journey accessible to pretty much anyone, including ePerson. So what are these two modern paths an aspiring builder like you can take? Let's break them down. On one side, you've got what I like to call the AI shortcut. This is literally like having an AI developer on your team. You could just describe, say, a customer feedback tracker in plain English, and a service like AWS App Studio will actually generate the app for you. Wild, right? Then, on the other side, there's the power-up path. And this is where things get really interesting. This is where you take a powerful general AI, think GPT-4, and you give it a superpower by connecting it directly to your own specific knowledge. Today, we're going to focus on that power-up path. Why? Because, honestly, it's one of the most revolutionary techniques to come out of the AI space. It's a method that can turn a generalist AI into a world-class expert on, well, on any topic you want. And this brings us to the central question, the million-dollar question, really. A model like GPT-4 knows a ton about the world, but it knows absolutely nothing about your company's internal documents, your personal research, or your customer support history. So how in the world do you bridge that gap? This diagram just nails the before and after. On the left, without this new technique, the user's question basically just hits a brick wall. The AI simply doesn't have the context. But now, look at the path on the right. With this method, the query first takes a little detour. It does a retrieval step. It finds the relevant documents first, giving the AI the exact information it needs to put together a brilliant answer. This method is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short, and the name tells you pretty much everything. You are augmenting or boosting the AI's ability to generate an answer by first retrieving relevant facts from somewhere else. You're basically giving the AI a direct, real-time connection to your own private library. So how does this actually work in practice? Well, the process is just brilliant in its simplicity. First, you index all your documents. All that means is you break them down into small, searchable chunks of information. Think of it like creating a super detailed index for a book. Then, when a user asks a question, the system instantly finds the most relevant little chunks. And finally, it feeds both the original question and those useful chunks to the AI, which then generates a highly accurate, fact-based answer. Now, RAG is incredible, but it's not the only way to give an AI custom knowledge. The other major approach you'll hear about is called fine-tuning. And understanding the difference between these two is absolutely key to choosing the right path for your project. This right here is the best way to understand the difference. Think of RAG as giving the AI an open book test. It doesn't have to memorize anything. It just looks up the right information exactly when it's needed. Fine-tuning, on the other hand, is like making the AI study for months to internalize that knowledge. You are fundamentally changing the AI's brain by tweaking its internal programming. Okay, so knowing all of this, how do you make your final choice? How do you decide which of these paths is the right one for that amazing app you want to build? This framework breaks it right down. If your task requires the AI to learn a very specific style or a unique vocabulary from data that pretty much never changes, then fine-tuning is a fantastic choice. But if you need the AI to use information that's constantly updating, think real-time data, then RAG is the clear winner, no question. Now, look at that resources row. Fine-tuning costs more money upfront to do all that training. RAG, on the other hand, has a higher inference cost, which just means it costs a little more each time you ask it a question. And of course, for simple stuff, the base model is the cheapest and easiest way to go. We started with a question from someone who saw the incredible potential of AI, but just needed a guide. We've charted the roadmap, we've explored the shortcuts, and we've detailed the powerful technique of RAG. We've laid out the map. The only question left is, what will you build?